Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're going to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 12, Getting to the Crust. Now, before I begin, let me get all this out the way. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Join the family. We'd love to have you. And leave your comments, whether it be in the comments on the side of the screen, or if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to leave your comments on the replay. And yeah, we'll go from there. Hopefully everyone is doing okay. Hello to everyone that's joined me live. Hello to everyone on the replay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all coming back for the live talk about Married at First Sight Nashville. And I hope, again, everyone is doing well. Hi, Sharon. How are you today? Hi, Kayla. Oh, long time no see, Kayla. How are you doing? How are you? I see your stuff on Instagram from time to time. So welcome back. Thank you for joining. Did anybody watch the episode, or do you just watch other people's reviews, or do you watch like the after party to get the gist of what's happening on the show? Because this season, I'm trying to be positive, but it's kind of hard with these couples. Is not giving what it's supposed to give. Even the front runners, are a little bit shaky, but I still think the front runner, which is only, in my opinion, Chris and Nicole are only going to say yes on decision day. So that's just me. That's good that you're great, Kayla. Let me drop the link here and go from there. So what'd you say, Sharon? I watched the episode and the after party. I did too. And how do we feel about the episode? Well, the after party being part of the episode now, because, the episode used to be 2 hours, right? But now it's an hour and a half. I think maybe it's because, in my opinion, one, there's really not a whole lot of stuff going on. There's not a lot of content because the couples seem to just be going around the same circle, in their relationships. There's no real growth. Or two, they got funds or whatever got cut back, and they're doing Married at First Sight, and then they're trying to have the audience watch Married at First Sight UK, which I'm not watching. I'm just saying, or Australia. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm not watching this. Now, yes, we want a little bit of drama, but those episodes to me, UK and Australia, seem to be like way, way too much drama. Like, why are they even married or sign up to be married if they're bringing all that baggage, right? That's just a whole different scenario to me, so that's just my opinion. Hi, Marcus. What'd you say? You said this episode was depressing to me who don't want each other. Isn't it always on this episode? I wouldn't say depressing. It's just like there's no real growth that's happening here. I don't think so. And Sharon, yes, they lost a couple early. But you know what, Sharon? In other Married at First Sight seasons, the opportunity to lose a couple, could happen as well going along the way, but a lot of them still held on till the last minute, whether it be financial issues or whatever. So maybe they reworded everything, and I don't know, if they see that it wasn't working for whatever reason, they can drop out. So I think they shouldn't, if there is a clause to have them stay married for financial reasons for the show, I think if there's an out for them to go along healthy, I think they should let them have an out. So if they only end up with one couple, well, then that's just what it is. That's just me. I could be wrong. So hi, Cynthia. How are you? Now, again, I dropped the link for anybody who wants to join in live, and if you click that link, it is going to take you to either your Google or Safari, and it's going to ask you to click that link. It's give you options of turn your camera off, which you can have your camera off if you want, if you don't want anybody to see your face. But it just allows you to have your voice to talk, back and forth with other people who've been on the panel before. Or if not, just go ahead and stay in the chat and converse that way. So either way is up to you. I appreciate you all again. Thank you. Hello to the Jasmine Show. How are you? So again, I'll drop the link one more time and then we'll get started. So we finally get to see an expert on the show, right? Now, do we think that seeing Dr. Pepper is a little bit too late, or what do we think about that? Because I don't know. I'm not sure if she really gave too much expertise, shall we say, to the couples, except for the things that they already know, like the who is getting along, the why aren't you communicating, and how come or whatever is not going on, why is there's no intimacy, no romance, and are we exploring that? So it's also, Carson said in the beginning that before her and Shaq even met with Dr. Pepper, that she wishes that the experts could have been there sooner when they were having these issues on last week's episode. That's rare for a couple on this show to be like, so where's the expert to help us out? Wish they would have been here sooner. So, I don't think that really bodes well to the couples who are struggling to know that they have the experts to lean on, because they're not there. I mean, where are they? I mean, we already know there's 2 other shows already in progress, but who knows what they have going on as well with their professional lives behind the scenes as well. So would you say, Sharon, Dr. Pepper a little too late? I think so in a lot of ways. But also, too, going forward for the upcoming scenes, because they're showing a lot of upcoming scenes for the season. Now, I'm not sure if your cable or satellite provider shows the upcoming scenes or however you're streaming. We do get to see Dr. Pia now, wherever she is, whether it be next week or right before they have to decide for decision day. But still, like, we're rolling to episode 13. Where have you been? So that's just me. I read one more comment and then I'll bring the person backstage. If you're ready to come up, let me know. Okay. Marcus says, Dr. Pepper knows most of these marriages are already dead. I mean, isn't that every year, Marcus? I mean, don't they already know that there's things that's going on that may not be right for a lot of couples? So they just seem like they come in really late to the game. So let me bring up a guest that wants to come on the screen. Again, click that link that says StreamYard and you can come up and be on the panel too. Or again, you can just stay in the chat if that's what you choose. So let me bring person up. It is Jazz from the Jasmine Show. Yay.
How's it going? Happy Friday, Junior.
Okay, it's Friday for me. Anyways, I take a day off tomorrow because I can.
It would be nice.
Yes. Oh, we have someone else that wants to join. Okay, Kayla. Hi, Kayla. Haven't seen you in a long time. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good. Thank you. I'm doing much, much better in my journey. Thank you. So, Jazz and Kayla and everyone in the chat, how do we feel about last night's episode? Do you feel like Dr. Pepper is a little bit too late?
Too little, too late for sure.
They should have started earlier.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Who do we think that Dr. Pepper's advice helped out the most from last night's episode to everybody?
Shaq and Kirsten.
Shaq and Kirsten? Okay. What do you think, Kayla?
I'm sitting here thinking. I think they were
Shaq and Kirsten.
Yeah, I think Shaq and Kirsten. I don't know. I think what's the girl they have what's the girl with the big eyes?
Nicole.
Nicole. Mm-hmm. I think her and her husband, like, it helped them a little bit. I think she's just all over the place. Like, she's really like all over the place, and she has so many issues.
Yes, she definitely does. Definitely does. She came in. Well, they all came in with the issues, but she's definitely expressed those issues as well. So it's not something that she hasn't already told us along the way. I just think it makes you wonder, like, yes, she's expressing it, but has she gotten herself therapy for these issues? Yeah.
She needs.
I agree. It seemed like she is realizing how big her issues are right now. Like, maybe she went over them before or realized them before, but I feel like she's having like self-realization now. But she hasn't been in a good relationship. So now she's really seeing, oh, I'm really jacked up.
Right. So I said last week. So that gives out the red flag.
Yes, you brought the red flags this time.
I thought it was a red flag when she was saying that she allowed somebody to burn her. And I thought to myself, what is going through his mind? Like, I know he had to be thinking, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into?
Chris one of the things when they talked to Dr. Pepper that I was surprised that was it when he was with Dr. Pepper after, but the point is when she was expressing herself and he was like, well, no, my relationships, I know we've all had bad relationships, but I always know, talk about the type of person he is. He was trying to exert himself. I'm like, where has this been? Because I'm not getting like you're a strong, say how you feel type man. You know what I'm saying? He gives me reserved, like he would keep things in to keep the peace. But I was really surprised he said that to Nicole last night. So
I think he's I don't think he likes being on camera.
okay.
That's a good observation too. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't think he feels comfortable with the cameras. And that's because I don't even understand why he's with her, because she's, chatty Cathy. In the meantime, he's not saying anything, but I think he's like just really uncomfortable with the cameras.
Kirsten is uncomfortable with the cameras as well. Like I said, she always seems to be noticing the cameras when she's talking. She always either like looks up or looks to the side, like beyond Shaq or just whatever. She notices those cameers too. That's a good point though, Kayla. I didn't think about how Chris may be uncomfortable with the cameras. So we'll just start with them. So when they were talking about with Dr. Pepper, again, Nicole and her abusive relationships and being burned with cigarettes. I wonder if her dad knows, because in the beginning when we saw the clips with her dad and then with the goat yoga, and let me jump off. Has anyone ever done goat yoga on the panel or in the chat? No?
No, I've seen that before, and that's a bit much.
Agreed. I don't want no animals on me.
Well, I have to say that Millennial has done goat yoga with her niece, but it was a challenge. But the point is, I just think that Nicole's dad coming in to, get to know Chris more, because that's what Nicole wants, to get to know her husband more along the way. Do you think she's trying to show that, even though she signed up for this process, that he's not one of the guys that took me along that abusive relationship? You know what I'm saying? Because she said that she lied to her mother and that her mother didn't know, about the abuse that was going on. Do you think that her father knew since they were divorced and she was back and forth? Do you think that was kind of her point to like soften the blow?
I don't think her dad knew either, to be honest, because they were saying how their relationship was kind of strained before.
Yeah, and she said they didn't know. She said something about they didn't know before, but they'll know now. So
I hope she talked to them before it airs, at least.
Well, another side note, did anyone else on the chat or the panel see that it said Nicole was in $75,000 worth of debt before she came on the show? I was going to pull up.
I missed that too.
Yes, I think Devontae mentioned a little bit that last week, and I just saw it like maybe 2 days ago. So she was going through bankruptcy and debt and reorganization of her bills and debts, things like that. Whether it's resolved yet or not, I don't know, but that's what's out there.
That's probably why she did the show. So she can
That's
get
what
out
some
of
people
debt.
are saying. That's what some people are saying.
Wild. That's super wild, especially because, finances and marriage, them two things will clash quick.
Right.
So I think that's wild to even, maybe you should be focused on your finances and getting that together instead of getting married and going to therapy in the meantime.
Red flag.
So, but you know what? Chris gives me like I'm not saying he does, but he just seems like he's methodical about what he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he seems like he has that part of his life together. So when it does come to the talk about the finances, things like that, because they're the only couple that I've noticed from the honeymoon that have had the deep conversations. I wonder if they had financial conversations, because remember Chris said he wants to live in his own house.
Yeah.
Afterwards. So do you think that maybe they had that off camera? And
I don't ever remember hearing any financial conversations from anybody this year.
Neither do I. So maybe, I'm sure with the way she's chatty Cathy, they probably talked about it offline. But then, eventually, the conversation is going to probably come up for the camera eventually.
Right. So, so that's, like I said, maybe that's why he wants to be by himself for a little while. Maybe that part came up and that's what it is. So, but overall, I think that they're more of a match than anybody else, because they can't, for right now. But I do see Chris getting tired of her mouth. I'm waiting on the clip where he said he's annoyed, though. I wanted to know what he's annoyed with, because that was I saw that clip 2 weeks ago. Like, he's getting annoyed by her conversation. So is it
I thought he was annoyed by he said he was annoyed by her negativity and like being super critical of herself.
Did he say that? Because I'm taking notes.
Oh yeah, that's what it was, because he said it's starting to really get on his nerves.
All right. Well, I can see that. I can see that.
Because she dogs herself like constantly, like consistently, and then she comes to him for affirmations, and I can imagine the pressure that must be putting on him with her constantly dogging herself out. And then she's like, do you love me? Do you love me? It's like, oh my gosh, this girl's crazy.
Right.
That's what I was talking about last week. I said it's uncomfortable to be having a conversation with someone that's like, oh, I'm trash. Oh, this. Oh, I'm horrible. Like, that's uncomfortable. What you supposed to do with that? Like, how do you have a conversation with that person?
Yes.
Exactly. So, but at least Nicole's aware that she's in her own happy bubble, as she said. But she's waiting for that bubble to burst. But the more that she's, being negative, and Chris picks up on her negativity, even though she's being honest, it's just like her honesty isn't on the same path of, what they're going to do forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's still reliving what she went through. So to me, I don't know. I could be wrong. Would you say, Sharon? You said Nicole's a pretty girl, but she's negative. Yeah, I think so too. And hello, Ashley. Hello to you. So
you gotta give Nicole some a little bit of empathy, because if you dated in New York, then I get it.
Well, that's what she said, though. That's exactly what she said. Well, she's in New Jersey, so it's across.
Me and Vince met when we lived in New Jersey, and I don't know how. I have no clue how, because dating out there is trash.
Right. It was meant to be, right?
Clearly,
your stars lined up. All right, so let's move to Gina and Clint. So Dr. Pepper, the first thing she said was, so there's a lot of water under this bridge. I'm like, yeah, it is. It is. And they floated away. It's a flood, but the only person that's doggy paddling is Clint, literally, with her dog Hank, right?
That's the closest thing in this relationship right now.
Yeah. Gina is just going through the motions. She is
not interested at all. I'm not even understanding why she's there. Like, when Dr. Pepper was talking to her about getting deep in a conversation, she was basically saying, well, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it, but I don't trust him like that, and I don't know him. So I'm not telling him nothing.
Right. I don't think that's fair to Clint. What do you think, Jazz?
I didn't think Dr. Pepper was fair to I just think in this whole episode, like, a lot of women were not being held accountable. And that's why I think I like it better when, like, Pastor Kyle meets with the guys, and then like they meet separate, not like as a couple. Right. Because I feel like Dr. Pepper was like, oh, well, if she's not like going super in depth, then you have to like just ask questions in the way she likes. I'm like, have you looked at the footage? Because I feel like Clint has been asking pretty like open-ended questions and like asking some things. Obviously, I feel like this episode, their conversation got the deepest that I've seen the entire season. Right. But I feel like Clint has been applying pressure in a respectful way to me. So
I agree.
I think that these women are not good this season, to be honest, either. I just think this season is a flop, to be honest. But Clint is good in my book. At first, I didn't think I was going to like him, but Clint is cool with me.
Right. Exactly. We discussed that. I didn't think I was going to like Clint either. But what do we think about Dr. Pepper asking about the chemistry and the growth? And again, it goes back to your point, Jazz. It's like, have you been watching? Not just watching, have you been listening from producers? Have they been taking notes for you? There is zero chemistry. None. Clint is on a playing ground. and Gina is just, again, along for the ride. But the thing when they were talking about, open up emotionally, and then Gina talking about, she's from a single parent household and she's used to talking to women more than men. I thought that was a cop out. There's a lot of men and women, young men and young women, boys and girls from a single parent household that, can communicate, and don't use that as a crutch.
She's almost 40 years old. It don't make sense. I was like, she don't want to talk to you. If you don't want to talk to him, just say that. That's all I'm saying. Stop wasting everybody's time. Gina is giving Alyssa without being nasty about it. That's what she's doing.
Okay. Point taken.
Yes, she is. I just don't. I think Clint, he's as upfront as you can get. I mean, he acknowledged his mistake. He's like, okay, let's move on. And even though, and for the camera, she's like, oh yeah, I'm good. She's really still not good. And she's not giving him a chance. She's really just shut down, and she's not even interested anymore.
No, she's not interested anymore at all. So then
I do think they like each other as friends, though. I think that she likes his personality as a friend, honestly. Like, Clint is kind of hard. He's one of those people that's hard not to like after a while. Like, he might rub you the wrong way, but then like, he's just a friendly, he reminds me of Vince, honestly. Literally, like, you can't not like him, but he may say some like diarrhea of the mouth type stuff here and there.
Gotcha.
That's Clint.
Gotcha. Sharon says, I don't know why Gina's on the show. She has a hard time opening up to men. Well, maybe she did come on to promote her business. Maybe she did, after all, her beauty business, right?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Because she did say she's a beauty shop mom and a dog mom. I was like, a beauty shop mom? I've never heard nobody refer to their business as the parent of, you know what I'm saying? Or in that aspect. But do we think that Clint threw shade at Gina when Clint says he was in a relationship for 3 years and he learned that the person he was in a relationship with eventually put on a fake facade? And so he learned that wasn't the type of relationship he wanted because he thought that was the person he was going to marry and have babies. And now that he's 40, this is his chance to do so. So I think, to me, that was low-key shade at Gina, and Gina gave a smirk. But Gina's always smirking, though. But, she is and has given a fake facade, if you think about it.
I don't know if he was being shady. Was it a point? Yes. But I don't think he was being shady. I think he was just saying that I think he was just explaining that he's ready for the next step, which is like to have a family. Because I don't think I've ever heard them talk about that.
Well, she's not staying in the same room unless the dog is in there, right? Because I was like, huh? He goes, at least we're staying in the same room. She's like, if Hank is in there, I said, oh my goodness. And then you come in and you sit on the floor. I'm like, you might as well talk at the door. You know what I'm saying? What is the whole point of that?
Yeah.
So, they are definitely giving and doing roommate style things. That's what they're giving. What do you think, Kayla? Or Jazz?
They could be best friends. That's about it. Like, I feel like he probably is what she needs. And same thing with Kirsten and Shaq. I think they're both what each other needs, but they need to put their trauma to the side to like make it actually work.
Did I have the flag up? Did I have it? I'm just the whole show. You know what I'm saying? My arm's gonna get tired.
Whole show.
Yeah. Raise the red flag. Raise the red flag. Definitely on them. But this was my thing. Well, Clint, how do you be with someone for 3 years, buy a house with the person, do all of that, and then the person switches up on you? Like, I didn't even understand it, because usually when you're ready to buy a house with someone, wouldn't you like really know someone before you share that kind of debt with someone, especially that you're not married to?
I mean, you would think so. You would hope that if you're in a monogamous relationship, going to the next step, that person is being honest with you. That's what you would hope. So who knows what was going on and the whole details about
maybe he was paying all the bills. A woman would move in. Some women would move in if he say, I'm gonna pay all the bills so we could get a house together. Let's go. Because if he paying all the bills, if you be like, oh, this relationship over, and you dip, he was paying all the bills before, so he good.
That's true.
But then what if your name is on the mortgage? I don't want my name on the mortgage knowing that I ain't gonna be here for that long.
Right.
Well, that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah. It seemed like there was more to that. Like that, you got to realize with these shows, people tell you what their perspective of something is, and there's always two sides to every relationship, and the truth is somewhere in between both of their experiences. So there's more to that story, clearly.
Right. So clearly, Gina has daddy issues and abandonment issues. And then Clint, I just think he's just at this point of his life and he's ready to go forward because he's got his life together. He didn't come from that type of background. The only thing that he said about that is that his dad worked really long hours when he was younger. So he's trying to like correlate that to Gina. Like, I get it how, she, you feel how your dad wasn't around. But if your dad wasn't in the same house and he was just working long hours, to me, that's not the same thing, So that's just my opinion on it. Let's see. Hey, Romel, what'd you say? I don't watch the show anymore, but I'm here to support. Oh, thanks anyways, Romel. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. So really that was it with them. And so let's move to
Eris.
Who you think it is?
Eris.
I got several flags over here. One fell on the floor, but I don't feel like
you need to wave them all.
I got like 10 on my table.
I really can't stand him. I think that he's a fraud. Like, I just can't even imagine. He keeps on making these statements, and I'm sorry going into last week, but how sexual he is and asking everything he has to ask has to do with sex. But and I think that she checked out on him because she's sick of him.
Yeah, I think so too. So in my plug for the show, it says, "Is Eris listening to advice?" Do you think he's listening to advice, everyone? Yes or no?
Maybe this episode a little bit. Like I feel like well, technically he didn't listen to advice. He just did the exercise, which was to ask the questions.
Hold on a second. Frappes and tea. I do not have a green and yellow flag because the only yellow flag, really, the caution flag is for Nicole and Chris. Right. Everyone else gets a red flag. There's no green flag here, in my opinion. So, but yeah, I think he was trying to listen to a little bit of what Dr. Pepper said, and I think he was just being courteous to Jasmine's mother, in my opinion, because I think he wants to seem like he's exhausted all his options. Because even when he's talking in confessional, in my opinion, the way he's talking in his body language is the same talk and body language that Jasmine gives on the after party. They're checked out. Why are we talking about this? We have to talk about it because it's part of the show. So it's not there for me. But I have said before that I thought that was one reason why Eris wasn't in the best frame of mind, because of the losses he took when he was younger. And so I thought it was just his dad and his uncle, but as he explained later, that it was two friends of his when he was in college. So that is, fairly recent. It's not when he was young, but old enough to understand death and the nature around the death. So him saying that he doesn't want to hold on to someone as tight, I get that, but with the red flag there, just like Dr. Pepper said, you're 39 years old. You ought to know the difference between the two, between loss, grief, and love. His point blank period was he's never been in love and he only leads with sex. And what have I mentioned before? There's no substance there. If you can only talk to me about sex, you have no substance. What is it that I know about you, Eris? Nothing. I haven't learned anything new about you yesterday than I did from the start of the show, other than what you think my favorite sexual position would be based on my favorite color. So y'all have at it. What you think? What did we learn from Eris last night, if anything?
The only thing I learned was about his friend passing away and him learning to forgive him. That's the only thing I learned. That's probably the most I know about him.
That's the only thing that I learned too. I'm sorry, Jazz. Were you finished?
Oh no, you go ahead.
It made sense why he's leading his life, why he's having these unfulfilled relationships with people. It made all the sense in the world because he's not trying to have any type of attachments. So, which makes me wonder why he even got on the show. And,
Right.
I'm not understanding that because he comes off as very immature for being 39 years old. So I'm not understanding. Okay, you had these relationships. It wasn't like he never said in the beginning of the show, when the show this season, that yeah, I'm ready to settle down. Unless I missed it, I'm ready to settle down. I'm not doing this. I don't recall him saying anything like that. And so if he's saying that, what's going on? Like,
Right.
to me, he's still in the party frame mind. Like, yeah, you're gonna be my girl, and we gonna do this, and then he giving her mixed signals, and it's like he's looking for excuses why not to be with her. No, I like girls that's bigger than her. Cause I thought to myself, she's like a model. What men? Most men like women. She's curvy. It's not that she's straight up and down. She does have curves. She's not a bad looking woman. So I'm not even understanding. I just think he's looking for excuses.
Right.
And his cousin is not into it either.
Yeah.
I think I don't think they really cousins. I think
Sharon on here doesn't think they're cousins. She thinks they're kissing cousins too. What were you going to say?
Kissing cousins, yeah. What was I about to say? Dr. Pepper did say, like, did you do this experiment? I think he did this experiment to force himself straight into the commitment so that he could, like, it takes out that thing where if he's only going based on physical and he's forced into commitment, then he has to go backwards, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Well, that's what everybody has to do on the show, though. It's like, but it helps if you see, all right, physically, you all right. Okay, I can work with this. And then you like, let me get to know you, do everything else. But I think that it's backfiring for him because he's very particular about his physical type. I think he like Meg the Stallion type chicks. Okay. He don't want the straight up and down. He want like body. Okay.
Yeah, he wants body. But still his mind, unless he has body, his mind isn't there. Is that what he's saying? Do you think that's what he's saying? Like if you don't have the looks and everything else, because we all know, well, again, common sense has different levels. Looks isn't everything. So he's giving immature vibes when it comes to not just talk about sex all the time, because that's what a lot of younger people do, older people too. But, like looks is the everything. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? You have to have substance behind those looks because looks fade for whatever reason. But Frappes and T says MAFS needs to incorporate a voting process so we can vote him off. Girl, they wouldn't have a show. They wouldn't have no show.
Do a voting process for us to match people is what they need to do.
That's good. That's
to
good.
Help match.
Dolores says Eris is very immature and not ready for marriage, very selfish. True. So now this whole time, a lot of us were thinking his cousin or kissing cousin or whoever she is was saying, maybe she was being a hater. Now I gotta give her some props. Like she really knew what she was talking about. He's not ready. So I'm not gonna watch you, burn in the flames, watching you go down a path that you like. Why are you even here?
Listen,
I
kind of agree. Okay, so let me say this. I have a cousin that is like Eris. Okay. And we are very close. We grew up together. So if he was to call me and tell me he was going on Married at First Sight, I probably would go off of him. But instead of like shunning his wife if he went through it, I would be next to her, be like, girl, we can get out of this, okay? Like, I'll be trying to help him because my cousin will be just like Eris. I'm telling you. Like,
well, it's not about shunning. Hey, Devontae, click the link if you want. It's not about shunning because I wouldn't shun. I'm just talking about her relationship with Eris, not with Jasmine, because the cousin don't seem like she like anybody for Eris because of the way he is.
I think she's going too far though, and that's the thing. Like,
Okay.
if he's gonna say, okay, I'm doing this, and every single time she's still like, oh, why are you doing this? He already married the girl. So you need to not necessarily support the relationship, but at least provide some sort of support throughout the relationship so that he not like completely dogging her out. The only advice she gave him was go have sex with your wife. Like that's not advice. Like you need to tell him how to form a connection or leave this girl alone. Like that's a piece of advice.
Yeah.
Right.
I think she's the cousin that goes to the strip clubs and all the clubs and different things with him. And that's her club buddy.
She knows him.
And I think that's why she's upset that he's doing it. Yeah, he may not be ready for it, but she surely is not helping her cousin either.
Right.
Like, okay, he's in there. When she was like, well, act like a man. I mean, just go here and have sex with her. I was like, really? That's the advice you would give a 39-year-old man? Like, it just made no sense. I almost felt like these were college kids, like kids still in college, because that's how the conversation, to me, Eris' conversation is like he's in college, like somewhere along the line, his brain, his emotions have been stunted. He's still back in college because he has no substance to himself. And I feel that, you know, she's done with him. I think she's so sick of him. She don't know what to do.
Right. So let's move it to Jasmine. So she was talking about her childhood and not being able to open up, because she said she has come from a home, 2-parent home, where she never saw her parents argue. So if they argued outside of them. So she's not used to seeing that type of conflict. So she's having a hard time with that. Now, what do y'all think about it? Now, hold your thought about it, because I'm going to say this about that. Now, I know that sounds hard to believe. It does. But I'm here to tell everyone that's my situation. My parents will be married on Christmas Eve, 57 years. I have never to this day, nor have my children or granddaughter, heard them argue, fuss, fight. They don't smoke. They don't drink, period, end of story. At all. So I get that. But the difference, so you know, I did grow up a certain type of way. Now, am I able to express myself? Clearly, that's not my personality, right? So, but I understand her about conflict, because well, first of all, let me say, to be from a 2-parent household still, you know what I'm saying, at my age and my parents are still together, still alive and everything like that, to know that people who grew up in a single family household like my children, we have a different dynamic of life and how things process because of what we see. So sometimes you can't relate. But I just think that Jasmine is just internally focused on doing good for others and others for them. She's not used to someone, and I don't think any of us would be used to someone like an Eris who just comes across just like point blank as a jerk. He just comes across as a jerk. But what do you think about Jasmine saying that about a 2-parent household, or do you think it's just part of her personality?
I think first and foremost, I would like to know, what is the balance? Because I'm not having kids yet, but I'm curious, like, is it healthier for you to see your parents have conflict and resolve it? For you never to see your parents? Because, like, if you never see your parents have conflict or resolve it, like, how do you know how to do it? You just figure it out on your own? And I'm just like, I don't know what is the right way.
Are you talking about me who experienced that?
I'm just talking in general opinions, because I think that what she was saying was that she holds her tongue because she's never seen her parents fight. And she does not know how to deal with conflict, because she was never taught from her parents how to deal with conflict, because they did it all behind closed doors. So she don't know if they conflicted or they didn't.
I think there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, when you have 2 parents, and especially if you never see conflict, or if her mom, if her mom was never a person that spoke up, or, if her father said, okay, this is we're going to go to Florida this year, and maybe she didn't want to go to Florida, maybe she wanted to go to Virginia, but she never spoke up or said anything against or conflicting against the dad in front of the kids. That could be her issue, because in that sense, she's not speaking up. She doesn't have her voice. And if she's never seen her mother have a voice, then she doesn't know how to resolve conflict. And I do know persons who grew up, like Kay said, they grew up in 2-parent households, and their kids don't know how to resolve conflict.
Well, I can, again, let me speak for myself, and backstage, let me know when you're ready. Speaking for me, listen, both my parents are outspoken. I give my personality, I'm a mix of them both, good mix of them both. My mom speaks for herself. My dad speaks for himself, things like that. I just think that's just their relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it is a double-edged sword, because there's some people who grew up seeing conflict all the time, and those of us who didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a middle ground to that. And I don't know. I just think it depends on the dynamic of their family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see my mom as a pushover at all. My dad is a pushover at all. And they definitely don't have a pushover as a daughter, But I just think that the things that she was trying to express to Eris is completely on a different level that Eris can't understand. You know what I'm saying? Because he
how
didn't.
old is she?
She's 32. She's 7 years younger.
Yeah.
She's 7 years younger than him. So they speaking apples and oranges, and I just think that was something for Jasmine to share outside of because I think she comes from a traditional family. I definitely come from a traditional family. When I say never heard them, they don't smoke, drink, none of that stuff. They've never heard me cuss. They never seen me drink. Same thing for my children. None of that. The respect level is so high. They're Southern too, that you just don't do certain things around certain people, because that's just not how it is. You know what I'm saying? But over here, I'm not saying it's a party house over here, but my kids, within reason, they can tell me whatever within reason, about the conversation, something that they couldn't say to my parents, because just, when you hold your elders up, kind of like a Medea kind of thing. That's why I equate it to like a Medea kind of thing. So, but Eris, I think, listen, we'll be here all day.
And I think the other thing is, I think the one more thing, I think that she doesn't trust him also.
No. Would you?
With her stuff, because when he came to that table and asked, is married sex different than single sex? I was like, how old are you? 12?
Listen, do I gotta mail everybody a flag? I gotta mail everybody a flag. It's ridiculous. No, I didn't hear Jasmine got her teeth fixed. Sharon, where'd you see that at? And hello to Devontae. How are you? We're gonna stay on Eris and Jasmine, because we're gonna get to their questions in just a second.
Good. How y'all doing? I know I'm
right.
late.
That's okay. That's all right.
Good.
Do you want to give your thoughts on Eris and Jasmine while we're still about it?
I just think I think she like where Shaquille was. Like, now he fake ready, and now it's just like
Ready?
I think she's starting to be turned off by him. Just the little things he say.
Yeah.
I think she low key just throwing in the tag. I think she know herself, and she just like, if you keep putting up with this you tearing down the very person that you came to build up. So I think she just see the writing on the wall. She like, yeah, it's a wrap.
So I didn't get a chance to download because I was busy running around today. But what do we think about the game of questions that Pastor Cal had for them? Like, she's like, what do you think about what your most intimate thing is? She's like, ooh, I can't think of nothing. Every question's like, ooh, I don't know. Ooh, you know what? I can't think. He's like, you can't think? No, I can't think. I mean, what does he expect?
He should have just said, I'm not going to answer these questions, because the questions wasn't that deep. They really wasn't.
Okay.
It was deep for them, though. Like, had she went into detail and like answered the questions, I feel like that would have been the deepest conversation they had. And I feel like in this moment she kind of got on my nerves because she said she wanted him to be deeper.
Okay.
I feel like he kind of at least was doing the exercise.
Okay.
And instead of her being direct and saying, I'm not rocking with you right now, like she was just being passive aggressive is what she was doing, which is childish to me. Like, if you're not going to do the exercise, just say, oh, I'm not rocking with you right now. I'm not going to do the exercise. Don't keep saying, I don't have nothing. Girl, you are 32 years old. You got something.
Right. Yeah, I think she definitely checked out and she was over it. So I agree with the passive aggressive too. Frappes and T says they should get those questions right after the wedding night. I think they had some questions like when they came back, when they moved in together. They had different kind of questions. Oh, somebody knew. Mona Wilson. Hello, Mona. This is why Dr. Pepper told Eris, you're 39. She referred to age because Eric acts 29. Eris acts like he's 16. We got to drop him back to the teenage years. He's not even legal yet. That's where he's acting to me.
Yes. He act like a teenager that just had sex for the first time. And now he's like, oh my God, that's all he could think about. It's like, what's wrong with you? Or maybe, or the other thought is, now here's a thought.
Okay.
Maybe he does have some addiction issues. Like
yes. Sexual addiction?
Yeah.
I've said that. I thought so. If I didn't, I meant to. I definitely think he does. But for some reason, he's just simply not attracted to Jasmine. Where because last week, actually, Arbery said it was Eris being sexually frustrated. And I think so too. Because if that's all you got and you're with someone that you're not attracted to sexually, you're sexually frustrated. But I still think that's an addiction. So what do we think about Eris talking to Jasmine's mother? She just came in like, hey, how you doing? See, that would be me. Hey, listen, I heard you weren't having no sex. That is 100% me. I heard, don't let my kids tell me something and then it's not right. And I know you has been their friend for a while. Listen, I heard, girl. So
you feel like that wouldn't be weird?
That's super weird. That's what I was saying.
No,
I feel like
that. Not about the sex part, but like I heard. But
no, I know. Yeah, what you would say. I'm talking about like what her mama did. Like
her mom,
I feel like
that
that's
was weird. I'm not talking to my father-in-law about if we having sex or not. That's weird. Like what?
I'd have been like,
No, I think she said that because Jasmine has been filling her mom in on all his sex talk. So the mom came in like, oh, you want to talk about sex? Okay, because that's something I would do. If
I love that. That's actually good. That's reverse psychology. So since you want to make everybody uncomfortable talking about sex all the time, let me make you uncomfortable.
That's exactly what I would do. Like, oh, you want to talk about sex? Okay, let's just see how much you really know. Oh, yeah.
Now see, let me separate. They see Caleb. We're in the same peer group, and Jazz and Devontae same peer group. See how they were like, that's weird, and we're both like, like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? See, that's the difference.
For that purpose, yes. But like, literally, if my in-law called me and was like, "Oh yes, I heard y'all wasn't having sex," that would be weird. I would be like, yeah, no, we're not doing
under normal circumstances. No, I definitely wouldn't do that because it is uncomfortable because I want to know what you're doing with my son or daughter. But do we think that Eris was taking advice from Jasmine's mom? Was he really listening? Because Eris also gives me the face like he's turned off, kind of like, yeah, I have to do this, but not, not really listening.
This might sound bad, but like
was
I told y'all, I think that the women got off easy this week.
Okay, that's not bad.
I think that Jasmine, and I'm not sure if this is right, but she was giving me like only child vibe, not youngest vibes is what she was giving me. Because just even in her like just being passive aggressive versus saying like, I don't feel like doing the exercise with you. When he brought it up to her mom and said, hey, like we were supposed to get deep. She said she wanted to get deep. And like, I was expressing things to her and asking her questions. She had nothing. The mom was like, oh, well, sometimes you got to pull it out of her. I'm like, your daughter's a grown woman. Hold her accountable. You want a relationship? Open up to your husband. Right. You don't want the relationship? divorce your husband. Simple as that.
Right. Okay. Devontae, what you think?
I mean, I agree with her. I mean, at this point, I mean, you said you wanted all this, then he started giving to you, but now you in your feelings. What you in your feelings about? Everything you and Dr. Pepper talked about, you've been hearing it all this long. So what's the difference now? So I mean, if I was her, I would be over him by now. Like, oh well, man. Like, I mean, she ain't bad looking. The DM's gonna be full. She ain't gotta worry about Aries.
That's true.
I just want to see what his type is. I got to think. I'm like, I think he like big girls.
He might.
Yeah.
He got to. It ain't making no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or he like.
What?
Oh no.
We're like, what's
I
in your
told you
mind?
he like Meg the Stallion type.
Think so?
That's what he like. Yes.
That's what he said.
He wants
said
some
he like
booty.
girls with a big butt and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That's what
he
he
wants.
like. But I feel that, early on, he was making her feel uncomfortable. I swear he did it to embarrass her early on when he was talking about all his sexcapades. And I thought, who talks about that when they first meet a person? And I just thought it was, I didn't think it was fair because he's putting it out there like I'm this and I'm that. And then he talks about her, oh, I think she's more conservative. No, nobody goes to somebody they don't know and start talking about their sexcapades unless they in college. Like that's something college kids do.
Unless they're a little off. I don't know.
I don't know. I just say that happened to me, and he weren't in no college. He was well seasoned, but that's a story time.
No, I'm not saying, okay, let me preface to say I have met people that have done that, but they were just being smart. You know what I'm saying? But for him to be in a process like this, knowing that he's going to be with her, that's going to, I guess he said, oh, let me do this for shock value. A lot of times I think Eric's talking just for shock value for the camera because I'm not understanding why you talking like that and why you talking like that to her. She's intelligent. It's not like she's stupid.
That's true. Well, I will say, like I said, story time. This was not shock value. He was well seasoned, plus 12 years on me now, and he was serious as all get out. And I had to call an Uber to find my way back home. But anyway, I think that Eris is. I don't think it's for shock value. I think this is who Eris is.
Is he shallow?
Oh, he's definitely shallow. What is it like? When someone shows you who they are, believe it.
So basically, his problem is he's shallow.
He's definitely shallow.
You can't tell he's shallow.
I know. I'm just saying. I know he's shallow. I was just saying. Y'all think like that's the main problem is that he's shallow?
No, I think he's a sex addict, and then
that's a big problem. That's a huge problem. We knew that off bat that he was shallow.
Devontae, you saying that for shock value? I'm just playing.
No, I swear.
I'm just playing.
It's been a long day. I had to relax my mind, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move to Shaquille and Kirsten. Whoever wants to jump in first.
My boys.
Listen, I don't care how much body paint there was and your bald head. Nope.
What's the red flag for?
Why? What's the problem?
Nope.
She lied.
She lied. She lied. She just felt like she just wanted a little something, a little taste of something last night.
She wanted to try.
She just wanted to try it one time.
Sweet and low.
You gotta know what the husband got going on before you say yes on decision day. So come on.
Okay.
Oh, he must have.
Listen.
She wanted a caveman. She wanted a caveman. And when dude was like, come on, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Oh, you down? Okay. She was loving it.
She loved it. Thank you. She wanted She wanted somebody that was not aggressive, but I forgot what the other word. Assertive.
Assertive, yes, because she was in her. She was. He could have took her right to the nail on camera. She would have been like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, I seen her face. I was like, oh, she lusted.
Yeah, she was. I could tell just when he started painting her, like on her arm, she looked like she was shaking. I'm like, oh,
She
to this.
was ready. I'll give her she was ready, but she's also like, what week is this? Let's see, 13, 14, 15. You know what? Let me just try it one good time. That's it. I can't be convinced otherwise.
Listen,
I can't.
the marriage bed is undefiled. Why can't she try it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, what do we think about Dr. Pepper asking them, does she think, are they holding anything back from each other? And Kirsten's answers. Now, Kirsten talked about her divorce with her parents and how she feels shameful of things. I'm thinking, why would their divorce make you feel shameful? That's the part that I didn't connect. What's the shameful part of the divorce? Maybe like, family knowing or your friends knowing? Like, what's the shameful part of that held her back from being who she wants to become? I don't get it.
Maybe she's around people. I could get that because it depends on who's in their community, like their community of people. And if everyone within their community, like, oh, you don't get divorced, you stay together regardless. And maybe that's just something even in her family that's frowned upon. So
her dad is a minister too, I thought. So
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, she a PK?
Yeah, she a PK.
I forgot about
You're horrible.
That's why she a freak in the sheets.
She was ready.
And I had cut off before.
Wasn't she the one in the beginning? In the beginning, she was saying, yeah, I gotta check. He gotta make sure that he okay and he could do this, that, and the third. In the beginning.
I don't know. What was you gonna say, Devontae? He said he got cut off. Go ahead.
Yeah, my wife had called me. I was gonna say that when he was body painting, I felt he wasn't painting. He should have been painting. He wasn't painting the butt, nothing. I'm like, come on, Shaq.
She had it wrapped up. She had it wrapped up. She had her booty wrapped up. She had a little sarong on.
Well, he could have went under there just with the hand and the freestyle. We don't know what we got.
This wasn't the Cannon's body painting. This was Married at First Sight body painting, sir.
We don't know what kind of body paint you do at your house, but
right.
This is the PG-13 version of the body paint.
Sharon says, isn't her dad a preacher? It may have been a scandal. That's a good one, Sharon. It could have been a scandal. With her dad.
The typical preacher with the treasurer.
First lady.
That's probably why she was ashamed, because what if her mom was the mother of the church or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So that could have been a big thing. He preaching one thing and doing something completely different.
Right.
If it
was the dad, it could have been the mom. You never know who was. The first ladies do other stuff too now.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe so now that I remember, because I didn't remember this from the beginning, that makes just a little bit more sense why Kirsten seemed like she doesn't want to say or open up on camera. But then again, it goes back to why you're on the show, because the show is about your relationship on camera, showing the world that this is a forever. That's why she seems so timid. So, okay. So, and then Shaq talked about his quality of life, even though, he came from a single parent, that his mom worked so many jobs, that he saw other families doing, living their lives, going on vacation, this and that, and he wanted more. And I don't know, do we think that's a little bit selfish of Shaq, because your mom had to take care of you and your family to work all these jobs, and you looked at the outside and, it looks like they were having a good time as a family, but were they really? You know what I'm saying? So he's basing his perception of other people.
I thought it was interesting when he said the perfect family. And I was like, it made me cringe because I'm like, everybody family be looking perfect. Everybody marriage be looking perfect. Everything be looking perfect. But that's just what they show you.
Right.
You don't see everything else.
Because we all could do this.
That part.
That ain't
I was like, so
that
he don't
ain't
even
nothing.
know like what the family unit like. I feel like the issue is going to be he has an idealized idea of the family unit.
Yeah.
And then that will be a negative thing in their relationship because she has a unidealized because her parents have been divorced.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That definitely, I agree with that, and I think that that's why he has that overachiever mentality. That he has to, he has to keep on achieving to, he might feel I don't ever want my wife or my family to work the way my mom did. Now he could be taking care of his mom now and everything, but I think sometimes when you come from a very poor background, it's just like you have some people, they go to a life of crime. They're underachievers. You got some, they do the total opposite and they're overachievers to the 10th degree. And I feel like that's where he is in his life. And he wants somebody to kind of fit into that mold. And visually, she looks like she could fit into the mold. But I think I just think he feels a certain kind of way about her because for the cameras, she's one way, but behind the scenes, she's another.
Yeah, definitely so.
Do y'all think that improved since? I mean, now that it got to this level, it must be better behind the scenes, unless now he playing for the cameras.
I think it has improved. I think that and I say this all the time, we on episode 12. So every episode is 2 or 3 days. So it seems like, she hasn't changed in all this time. But in actuality, it's been a month. There's clearly been some progress with her. They haven't drawn out the season, so it looks like it's been 3 months.
Hey, my prediction looking real good right now. I told you she was gonna come around that corner. I told you she was rubbing that head, and she was like, you know what? Yeah, ain't that
They gonna
bad.
stay together. Mark my words, y'all. They gonna stay together. Watch.
Okay, we'll see.
She's gonna be pregnant. She's gonna be pregnant on the next couple's couch. She's gonna be like, I don't know what happened, but the body pain.
That's
I think you're going to know exactly what's going on because she's not going to tell. They're going to have this little thing where she don't want to tell, even though, they show some scenes, but she going to be all over him. I'm telling you, because in the beginning, she made reference to she got to make sure that he can satisfy her and inches and all this other stuff she was alluding to. And so when she said that in the very beginning, because she did say, well, I'm a preacher's kid. And I thought to myself, really? You want your father or your mother to hear what you're saying? And, say, I'm sorry. Everybody know PKs are the freaks. Everybody knows that. I don't care what religion, PKs, kids, or the freaks.
Okay. What was you gonna say, Devontae? Were you saying something?
I don't even remember. Go ahead.
Okay. So on the upcoming scene, well, first of all, did we see the after party? Because the question was, the statement was, on the after party, Shaq was all smiles. Did you see the after party, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Do we think that they are more closer together or not?
Yes.
I'm telling you, they staying together. I'm just saying it. Okay.
Yeah, he got something that night. If he ain't getting nothing, I mean, Jesus
something
Christ.
happened. He might not have got
Something
but something happened.
What did you say?
He got at least 50. He had on the home. Let's just say that. He's very close. He's closer to home than what he was before.
Bare minimum, he has second plate. He teeter tied between.
Now they done hit third. They on third base at least.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
I'm
they
gonna
have
tell
to
you
be
right now. He said he hit a home run because in upcoming scenes, Shaq says they have consummated their marriage. That's what he says. Chris
When
says,
I don't think I would have told them that.
yes, he said that. Chris said he told Nicole that he loves her. Clint and Gina are talking about sex, and Gina says, well, I have a sex chair, so who knows, they may be next. Eris and Jasmine are reaching the pinnacle in their relationship, and we finally get to see Dr. Pia on some upcoming episodes, whether it's next week or not. Her scene is being
Too
shown.
late.
And Nicole and Chris are on a rocky street, and it looks like McKinley's going to come back soon. And we're going to see him saying to one of the other cast members that he slid into Gina's DMs. And we're going to see Shaq tell Jasmine, not Kirsten, sitting on a car, you're beautiful inside and out. So this is what's
I
happening.
don't know. Clint gonna have to put some paws on him. That's disrespectful.
He could have at least waited till the thing was over. Like, yeah,
Right, you wait till the season over. Now you're trying to play.
You want to get beat up, basically. Yeah, I gotta beat you up by default. I'm just saying, like,
we gonna go sailing one day, and only one of us gonna come back.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. I think it's disrespectful. I think like wait until after, like everybody else. Like we knew you thought Gina was sexy. You already told her husband on the honeymoon that she was sexy,
right?
Like, so that's
that
already
is the
enough.
blackest looking white woman I have ever seen. I swear she's black.
Yes, I thought she was black.
She looked black, big black lips. Your mama lying, Gina. Ain't no way. You belong. She's supposed to be at the cookout, okay?
She's supposed to be on this side of the fence. I mean, she might be mixed with something we don't know. We don't know.
She does look mixed. She built like a black girl.
Yeah,
her facial features like a black girl.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was black.
She definitely ethnic in some kind of way.
Ethnic too. I don't know what she meant.
I was thinking she was like Sicilian or something, is what I was thinking. But then when I saw her mom, I was thrown off.
She said her family were Italian, so maybe that's what it is. But she definitely, her list. But I mean, she's in the beauty thing. That could be Botox. Maybe she got fillers in her lips.
Yeah, I was thinking
right. She do got them fillers. She do. Yeah, she gonna. Oh, it's gonna be terrible in a couple years. Never mind.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I think Shaq, whatever they did in that room, he did a good job because you could tell she talk about. So you gonna buy us a house?
Yeah. He said,
I was looking at her like, "Bye."
You ready to move in? Come on.
He probably said, "If all I needed,
I let my lease expire."
He did what needed to be done. She can marry it now. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He probably said, if all I needed was some strawberries and whipped cream, I should have pulled those suckers out long time ago.
Yeah, that's it.
Girl.
Right. Watch how she reacted if Nicole slide a note under that door. Now, ma'am.
Right.
Stay over there. You Don't be making my husband mad.
I also forgot to mention that wherever they are, at a dance hall or wherever, Eris goes off to dance with somebody else, and Jasmine don't like that. So that's also a pinnacle, along with Shaq saying that they constantly.
She don't know if she mad or not. That's my issue with that. Like if I'm done with him and she's been acting like she's done with him. Mm-hmm. If he danced with the instructor, so what? So what? You know you don't want him.
I think it's more like don't play in my face though. I don't want you, but don't get disrespectful. Like I'm saying, because they don't know that I don't like you like that no more. We don't like each other. These people they don't know. Trying to work it out.
But in the clip, he wasn't all up on her. It was like a lot of distance. Now, if he was all up on her, I could see that. But that's a bit much, in my opinion. Especially since she don't want him.
The club. If I even tried to do that, I'm telling you, she would have flipped the whole club with it upside down. Ain't no way.
But you know what? But this is the thing. When you have a group, now I do know couples where their spouses, even if they're at a function where they know everyone, they are not allowed to dance with other people.
Really?
I do know couples that are like that. And that's how I feel like Because who was Eris dancing with? Wasn't he dancing with one of their friends?
The
No,
dance
it was the instructor.
I just feel like he was just getting into it. It wasn't like, I don't understand. She making a big deal about it.
Right.
To me, it's like, okay, she the dance instructor. So what? Like, maybe, and what they didn't show, maybe she was stepping all over his feet or something, you know.
Either way, there was a considerable distance between them, and it looked like it was just having fun. It wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to push up on her or something,
right,
you know, like.
I think she's ignored or something. Like, you know, you're with her, you could dance with her, but not me, but there's no chemistry. So, and you're probably just sitting down. So why can't I get up and dance with the instructor?
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what he's looking for.
Was
like,
he looking?
What is he looking for? Like, what is this connection he's talking about? Like, what do y'all want to connect over playing in the sandbox as kids? What are you trying to connect over?
He basically want his homeboy that he could have sex with. Last week, he said if she was funny and had fly kicks, that's a dude, and that you can have sex with. That's what he wants.
Can somebody ask me? Every couple mentions the word connection. I'm with Devontae. What does that mean? Every couple, we're trying to get a connection. We don't have a connection. Trying to get what is that? Is that the new word now? Like, I'm not even understanding. What does that mean?
It's what the producers are saying to them. That's exactly what it is. Because the producers ask them questions and say certain things, but then they say, when you answer, I want you to use it in a full sentence. So it sounds like you're saying it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Connection is like a bond. It's like a bond. Like, like we connecting through music, religion. Like, we just connected like we yang and gang. We gonna finish each other's sentences sometimes. We ain't gotta do it like all the time, but like we like this.
Yeah. Well, Eris and Jasmine don't have that, so I don't even know why they're trying to pretend as though they're trying, because they're trying.
Call it quits now.
Yeah.
You know what he gonna do? He gonna get off this show and marry his ex. Watch what I tell you.
He gonna marry his cousin, the one he told everybody was his cousin.
I think that's his cousin. I think that's his cousin. That's just his cousin from, you know. My cousin ain't nothing. And she know that. We all got a cousin. We all got a cousin.
We all got a play cousin. We all do.
I don't got no play cousin. I got a real cousin. I told y'all.
I got a real one. But I got a real one that I know he got a girlfriend or whatever. But he gonna do what he wanna do.
Don't be you incriminating. What you doing? What you doing?
I got a lot of male
this girl watching right now.
Right. So, well, what do we think about Dr. Pia? Huh? What'd you say, Devontae?
Who is she?
Birds of a feather flock together.
That's very true.
Who is she?
Pia. She wasn't hopeful last season, in my opinion.
Dr. Pia came right. She came on last season to replace Dr. Viviana, but as Jasmine said, she only came on last season really 1.5 times. She was there one full show and then half of a show. And this time, like I said, we're already rolling on to season week 13 next week, so there's no guarantee she'll be seen next week or the week after. But the point is, it's almost decision day. Like, next week is technically 3 weeks till they say yes or no. So like, what is there to get a bond? Because, you know, Dr. Viviana was the bond of like the sexual type thing, to get that type of intimacy, things like that. But at week 13, if you don't have it, now Shaq got lucky with Kirsten last night. Like I said, I just think that she was just ready for a trial run. But everybody else, if they haven't done it by now, the odds of them doing it are slim to none. And they're doing it just, it's not going to be that quote unquote connection. It's just going to be just sex now. You know what I'm saying? Because you've built nothing. You're just having sex, just to be having sex, in my opinion. So however she's going to help out, I don't know. But I saw her face, and if she's on for the whole show or what, I don't know. So
what is Devon Franklin's? Is he on this season too?
He was supposed to be on this season, but again, you know, we're 3 weeks from the end of the show, so what advice can he give? To who? Who can he give advice
At this
to?
point.
I'm just saying, in my opinion. So, well, to wrap it up, so again, a cue from the Jasmine Show. Rate the couples 0 to 5, 5 being the best. From just last night's episode, 0 being the worst. Panel and chat. So, what do you give the couples? Go ahead and let's start with Nicole and Chris. 0 to 5. Did they improve from last week to this week, or did they go backwards?
They get a 2.
I give him a 3.
Okay. Devontae?
I'm gonna say a 3. I'm gonna say a 3 because her dad said he could call him dad, even though he did a terrible job of telling about Nicole growing up. He told all her worst attributes. I'm like, she ain't come over my house. She ain't talk to me. I'm like, sir, I said, tell me some good things. Yeah.
Well, Nicole doesn't say good things about herself, so why would her dad?
Dang, Ma, that's
right? So Sharon says 3, Frappes and T says 3, Dolores says 3. All right. So what about Shaquille and Kirsten? Did they do better from last week? Of course they did. But what do you give them this week?
I give him a 4.
Oh, that's high. Okay.
3.5.
Okay. Devontae?
I'm gonna give him a 4.5.
Whoa.
Just to give him a little room to grow. Yeah, my boy stepped it all the way. The strawberry, that was a little cringy for me to watch. I was like, that's what it looked like when you do that. Because like in the moment, it don't feel like that. It's that weird. But like watching somebody do it, you like, that's weird. But
okay.
I said that was smart though. That was smart because she was into it.
Sharon says 3.5. Frappes and T says 1. Okay. And who else? Dolores says 4. Okay. Gina and Clint, did they improve or go backwards? No. What do we say? Gina and Clint.
They got a 2.
1.5.
2, 1.5. Devontae?
1. They talking about they getting to know each other as buddy. They not asking, they not talking about nothing. Ain't nothing they talking about gonna get to the bedroom. I ain't trying to keep talking about my childhood like that.
Right. All right.
That was 35 years ago.
Right. Okay. Sharon says 1.75. Frappes and T says 2. All right. So Eris and Jasmine.
Can I get a -1?
Of course. Negative.
Agreed.
0.
0. Chat. Is that a 2 for Eris and Jasmine, Dolores?
I might give him a 1 just for Jasmine because she's suffering. God bless her heart.
Come on.
I just can't believe. I can't. He's just ruining it for me. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't see any. Oh, nobody said anything for. Oh, here we go. Sharon says 0.001. Frappes and T is 0. So yeah, they just can't get out that friend zone. And if they do decide to have relations before the end of the season, I think it was just because like thank you and good night kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
He's cringeworthy. I mean, every time he opened his mouth, I cringe because he's going to say something inappropriate.
Yeah,
just totally cringe.
She might be petty and give him something, put him on and give him the best he ever, then ghost him.
That's what I said. Give him a thank you and a good night. I'm out. Appreciate you.
Now, who ain't attracted to who now? You missed out now.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that because he already had sex with her friend.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. She probably already got the
Jazz, are you over it? Jazz is over it too. So
I wouldn't be able to get past that. So I get it.
You get it. All right. Well, that was the episode. Hopefully next week we're going to see somebody, a new expert come on or somebody, I don't know.
Well, did you say Nicole and Chris? Did you do them?
I thought so. Did I say Nicole and Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, she said them first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you give them though, Kayla, since you missed it?
I'm giving them like a 2.
A 2?
Yeah, she's annoying to me. She's going totally backwards for me. She's annoying.
Yeah. Nicole is giving a Wednesday from the Addams Family vibe. You know what I'm saying? She's giving that kind of vibe. She's giving dark energy.
Hold on, Wednesday is dope, so not even.
I like
Right,
Wednesday.
I like the
That black
Wednesday.
cloud around. You know how she walks. She's like, everybody's like, who's the weird girl? That's Nicole.
No, I get it, but she could never even be that cool.
Okay, so not to the cool. All right, well, never mind. Take it back.
I just want to know, would y'all let, before we leave, would y'all let Kristen sell y'all house? I
No,
would not let her sell my house.
no.
I feel like she gonna have the square footage wrong. Everything's just gonna be.
Yeah, and why don't she already have her logo? She's a real estate agent. She's not like she just became one last night. Why don't you have a logo for like your business cards? Good
She
point.
lying. This girl work a regular job. She lying. The apartment ain't.
She don't have no decorations in her apartment, but she a realtor.
Right.
That is
You
true.
ain't never.
Stop.
You ain't.
And then she said, I did really good this year. And I'm like, you did?
Where? Where?
Listen, she sold her sorors a couple houses. Is what happened. That's what happened. The network.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
She did free promo.
That's
Okay.
really what is there.
Free promo. That's exactly what it is. So.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll have more stuff to talk about with these couples. Hopefully, the things that we saw going forward, we're actually going to see, and not like the last day of the episode. You know, we just need more, because otherwise, this season, I'm giving it is almost on the negative. We're sitting at a 1 for me for the entire season. You know, it's not giving.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where they like 2 seasons away from they gonna be canceled.
Yeah, that's what it's.
I feel like less and less YouTubers. Like once the YouTubers stop reviewing it, and it's a lot of people stopping to review it, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah,
I think because the other countries, their shows are a whole lot more interesting. UK and Australia is a whole lot more interesting than
Where
that.
can you watch that at?
UK
Is
is
it on
making
Lifetime?
my blood pressure high. Okay,
it's on
UK
Lifetime.
got too much going on for me.
They
It's a-
always
check
got
it out.
something, but at least it's and the people and the experts are always there. Like they're always giving their input. I like the way that they go to, and the people have an out,
Yeah, but it's a lot of extras. I'm not looking for that type of drama on Married at First Sight. That's a different type of.
No, it's too
I need
much
to
for
word
me.
the show different. That's not Married at First Sight. That's a
No,
to
that's
me,
a
that's a swinger
mess.
show. It's a swing at first sight. That's what that is.
Swinging.
So, but all right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be back next Thursday, and everybody have a good night. Thank you again.
All right, have a good night,
night.
everyone.
Take care, everybody. Good night.